Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to session 9 of the Life Coaching Mentorship Series with Heather Wilson, where you all get a behind the scenes look over the course of 3 months as I personally coach and mentor Heather as she builds her online coaching business. So Heather, what is a win that you would like to celebrate with us?
I would say a win this week was I've been working on shifting a lot of things in my house and my clothing into like 100% organic cotton items or more sustainable thread, stuff like that. So I got some 100% organic cotton sheets for the bed, which I've wanted to do forever. Finally got that. And I got lots of cute little crop tops and bamboo bras and lots of like new spring and summer clothes so I can get rid of old energy clothes that I've had for like over a decade, so I'm just like shifting that energy. And I feel like I'm upgrading my frequency because like I haven't spent money on myself like for clothing in a really long time because I was too like frugal, and anything I would get is either on sale or I would just get clothes from hand-me-downs from other women. So it felt really good to like buy myself new clothing that are in a higher price range than I normally would feel comfortable with. So I feel like I'm like shifting my energy, like energetic frequency and also money frequency, and just like embodying just like a completely different feel. So that was pretty cool this week to do.
Yeah, I love that. And I was going to ask you, when you were saying, oh, I'm buying all this new stuff that I love and care about, I was going to say, why is that important to you? And you went ahead and you answered it of like you said, it's shifting your energetic frequency. And also it sounds like your self-worth around money as well. Kind of what I heard you say is like, I deserve to have nice things. I deserve to use my money and invest in things I care about. And that's huge, right? Because that's very much going to show up in the way you run your coaching business as well. If you feel like you don't deserve to receive money, or if you have a bad relationship with money, it's really hard to receive money from your clients and for your program. So I think this is amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. If I don't feel comfortable spending like $50 on a pair of pants or something, then that reflects in my clients not feeling comfortable in investing in my services. So yeah, I'm having to up level my own mindset around money for sure. And this was a really freeing. It was nice to just like, put the money out there and receive these beautiful things that make me feel really good about, myself, because clothing really does reflect how we feel. Like wearing soft, comfortable things like feels so good. And also knowing they're sustainably created feels even better. So yeah, it's all part of the process of shifting into, coaching and all of that. It's cool how you tied it all together because I didn't even really put that together yet. So that was cool. Thank you.
Everything is all connected. And it's really cool too that you're supporting other businesses that you believe in. And, I go a lot by spirituality and the law of attraction in my own life and business. And I believe that whatever you want to receive more of in your life, you have to give first. So I see you by, like giving money to other businesses that you believe in, giving support to other businesses. You're sending messages to the universe like, okay, I'm giving this, and then I'm also open to receiving this back as well. So again, a very beautiful spiritual practice.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. All right. So Heather wearing her new sustainable bamboo organic clothing on our calls moving forward, and I'm going to be so jealous. So let's go ahead and move into, actually, let's do a quick check-in. So last week you had committed to doing a like 2-hour sit-down creative brainstorming session. So, let us know how that went for you.
Yeah. So it went really well. I was able to create like the price point and also like what's all included in the program. And then I ended up using some of that time to share what I had already kind of come up with my partner. And then we went into kind of brainstorming on that. And as I was speaking some marketing, like what I was speaking, he's like, well, that's your marketing right there. So write that down. So I started writing that down. And so, yeah, I was able to get a really good feel for like the person is going to get, what they're going to receive whenever they sign up for this. It's kind of like a workshop intensive, a 6-week workshop intensive is what it's going to be. I got to do some market research still on like the language I'm going to use around that and see what other people are using and do some comparison there. But right now I'm just calling it like a workshop intensive because that's the language I have so far. So yeah, so it felt really good. And I think I got really clear.
Yeah. So would you say that that works well for you then, is sitting down for like a certain amount of time and getting all like your, like batching your content or working on all your ideas versus trying to like spread it out maybe over the week?
Yeah. Yeah. It felt good to just like designate that time to, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to focus. I'm going to get all the ideas out of my head and just do this brainstorm, jot it all down. And then, because at first I just wasn't, because I kind of taken like a 2-week break at this point, because I took the week before kind of off. And then last week I didn't put a whole lot of effort into the coaching because I still needed a little bit more time to work on some personal stuff. And yeah, getting into it, I felt kind of scattered. But then once I sat down and actually started writing it out, I just started with like writing the title and then writing the price. And then it just started coming. And then I started to get excited again. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that feels like again. There's the excitement and the energy and there's the ideas. And it just like opened up the door for everything to come out. So yeah, it was pretty easy to do. And time just flew. So actually want to do another session and go deeper into it and finish keep work. I want to keep working on it weekly so that I can get this thing launched.
Okay. Cool. So creative brainstorming sessions work for you to get you something like motivated, inspired, get all your ideas out of your head. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So that being said, how can I best support you today, Heather?
I think today I'd like to come up with my tagline. I empower women, blah, 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 so they can yada, yada. I want to get clear on that tagline because I want to put that on my social media. Right now, I don't have, I think I took down, because what I had up there was for the health coaching. And so since I've shifted, I haven't put a new tagline up. So I'd like to have that up there. Plus, whenever I'm meeting people, it's so easy to just like have that one line, that one sentence line to share what I do to sum it up. So yeah, so I'd like to get that like created today.
Cool. Okay, so let me make sure I'm on the same page. When you say like tagline, do you mean kind of like, I've also heard elevator pitch or unique value statement, like basically something where if you're like networking or if you're creating YouTube videos, you can just real quickly like tell people, this is who I am, this is how I can help you.
Yeah, I think it's that. Well, it's like I don't know if that's long, if like the elevator pitch is longer than what I'm thinking, because I'm thinking of like on your, on like your Instagram page, most people put, like Heather Wilson coach, and then I empower women to, shine their light, or so that they can stop playing small or whatever, just like something like that.
Sure.
So it's like that little thing. I don't know what it's called, but
yeah, I think tagline describes it well. So okay, yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. All right. And then how will we know that you've experienced success by the end of the session today?
I think by feeling confident in what we create, just feeling confident that I can start sharing it right away. So yeah, if it's something I can start sharing right away, that would feel like success.
Okay. And how will we know that you're feeling confident?
That I would feel capable of like, I guess if I feel like I'm able to just share that with people without, like, if I feel like it's clear enough to share, then that will make me feel confident. Yeah, I guess if I feel clear with it.
Okay, so having a feeling of clarity will
Yeah.
help you to feel confident in that, like, okay, I'm ready to start sharing this.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's go ahead and dive in and get started. So, I always think that your ideas are the best because they come from you. So, of course, I'm always happy to jump in and share what I'm hearing and seeing and if stuff comes up. But let's start with you, Heather. What ideas have come up for you so far in terms of this tagline that you wanted to create?
Well, my partner and I wrote a couple down a few weeks back, but I don't love it. And I haven't really brainstormed since. So, what I have is I help women unlock their potential, find their voice, and learn how to shine so they can live an empowered life. That's one of them.
Okay.
Are you writing that down or?
Well, just go ahead and share all of them out loud. So do that first
Okay.
again that you just read.
Okay. The first one is I help women unlock their potential, find their voice, and learn how to shine so they can live an empowered life.
Okay.
That's the first one.
Okay.
And the second one is I empower ambitious women and conscious mamas to unlock their potential, find their voice, and learn how to shine so they can stop playing small.
Okay. So that's number
So
two.
that's the second one.
Did you
Yeah.
have the others?
No, those are the only two we wrote down.
Okay. So out of those two, like which one are you leaning more towards?
I think I like the second one better. I definitely like the stop playing small, because that's what's come to me, that I feel like I'm really focused on and shifting into is helping women who have they've been a people pleaser their whole life. They've their voice has been silenced. They've just been too scared to speak up for themselves. They don't really have the skill set of how to handle conflict. They just kind of instead hide from it and play small. And so I'm wanting to give those women the tools and the skill set, to set boundaries, to speak their truth, um, because when we don't, that's when we create a lot of suffering in our life. So if we're not speaking up in a moment, we tend to end up like internalizing just like guilt and shame later on because we're like, why didn't I speak up? Why didn't I say something? And it ends up creating, like, that can ricochet and create a lot of suffering. For me personally, I've realized that all the moments in my life that I've still not, that I've had a hard time forgiving myself for are those moments when I betrayed my own truth. And if I had the skill set and the tools to speak up, and the confidence to speak up and know how to handle those kind of situations when I felt like somebody was trying to overpower me, it could have prevented those situations. So I'm wanting to help women.
Yeah, I can tell
Yeah.
how passionate you are about this. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was interesting because when you were reading the two different statements, your energy completely changed with the second one.
Did it? Yeah.
I knew you were going to pick that one. It's so crazy
Yeah.
how slight but big those energy shifts can be when we're really like connected to something. So that's good, right? Okay, we already have more clarity on which one you connect with. But so with that statement, what about it doesn't feel right for you?
I guess I want it to be more powerful and more like I want it to just land to where a woman is like, that is me. Oh my gosh. Like that is what I've been searching for. And so finding the right words that are, exactly that. And this was kind of created before I really got clear, like as I am today. So I feel like I could do better for sure.
Okay. So how do you know though that it's going to create that feeling for someone? like you would know if it would created that feeling for yourself, but so how would you know that it's going to create a feeling of powerful and like, oh, this is me for someone?
Um, I mean, I guess I won't. I won't know, like, because I'm not them, but I guess all I can go off of is how it like lands for me, and the person that I'm creating my services for is who a past me. So I feel like it's like a past version of myself I'm creating this for, and so it's going to call forth those women who relate with um, that version of me.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like we're going to have to step into past Heather's shoes, and she's going to need to have that feeling, that reaction of
Yeah,
like, wow, this is powerful. Right? Like so many people are going to, come into your social media presence, and some people are going to be just like wowed and like, oh my gosh, this is the coach for me. I've been searching for her my whole life. And then there's going to be other people who are like, she's not really for me. That's not my vibe. And that's okay.
right. Yeah,
Right. And so we don't know, but like trusting that the right people will find you and connect with your energy and your words, and the rest will naturally happen from there.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm hoping for.
All right. With that statement, is there any parts that you're like, I already know, I just want to cross that out. I want to get rid of that. I'm not connecting with that, the energy of that word or that phrase.
Yeah, like I think I don't really connect with unlock their potential, and learn how to shine feels too vague. And then ambitious, I want to cross that out. Conscious mamas might be okay. I don't know if I necessarily need that in there, because I know that's whenever I was working on going a direction to work with mothers too, which is still a thing because this will totally fit for them too. Like,
Mhm.
especially as a mom, it's good to have boundaries and all those things.
I was going to recommend choosing one or the other, if you did want to keep ambitious women or conscious mamas, because they're very much can fall into the same category. So it's almost a little bit redundant.
Yeah, I think I'll cross out the conscious mamas, because I think that leaves the door open a bit more, because then regular like women who are not mothers yet can join, and then mothers will find it too.
Mhm.
I don't really want to pigeonhole it to just mamas.
Mhm. Okay. So right now, then we have I empower women to find their voice so they can stop playing small.
The other day I had a thought about sensitive women, but then I don't know if that's, some women might not relate to sensitive, but I know that for me, I'm very sensitive to my environment, and emotions and feelings and tones, and just all kinds of situations in life. And it's made it hard for me to be resilient and to adapt. That's been a challenge in the past for past Heather. Um, was everything just felt so overwhelming, and was easily just like too much. So I had thought about catering it to sensitive women, but I don't know if that's too narrowed down or not. Like, I don't know if that's necessary. So I wanted your opinion on that.
Unfortunately, a lot of times the word sensitive can have a negative connotation to it. So if
Right.
someone sees that and if that's a wound for them, that might not be empowering for them.
Right. That validates how I was feeling about it too. Because I'd seen some people use it, and I was like, oh yeah, sensitive women, because it relates to me, but then I also don't want, some people could see it as weakness. So
Right. And we both know it's not, but
right.
most people, I would assume, would probably see it maybe as, yeah, kind of more of a negative thing. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. So we'll scratch that. I was kind of wondering if we flipped and put I empower women to stop playing small. I wondered if we flipped and put that up top, and then went from there, if that might be
mhm,
more powerful, impactful.
mhm. Yep. And I like because we've got a pain point and we've got a desire in there. So that's really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And do you think this would pass the first grader test? Because remember, we want to make sure that we're not making people think too hard here, that they can
Right.
just instantly be like, oh, cool. Okay. This is what Heather can help me with.
What are some other ways to say playing small? Shrink. To not shrink. I empower women. Something about shrinking. I help women to.
Can I share with you a way that I do some market research that could be helpful
Yeah.
in the situation?
Okay. Yeah.
We can do it together. I always go on Google and I start typing in words and phrases and I see what comes up and the questions that people ask around that, because you know that those are the common words that people are using. Have you ever tried
Okay.
that
That's a
before?
good idea. Have I what?
Have you ever tried that before?
I don't know that exactly like that. I think I've just looked up like thesaurus and like looked up different meanings in that way.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Amy Porterfield suggests this in her Digital Course Academy. And I was like, oh, that's genius. Like, we don't have to recreate the wheel here. Let's just, try to find some words that people are already using around this topic. So
That's a good idea. Yeah.
let's see what we can find on Google really fast. So I'm actually just going to type this exact thing in here and then we'll see if any words come out. And then remember, I want you to while we're doing this, I want you to visualize yourself in past Heather's shoes, right? Because
okay.
we're looking at it from that lens, right?
Yeah, right.
So then what I do is I just look at the words here that are from things that people have already created.
Start taking big action. That's cool.
I like that. Rise up.
Rise up. Yeah, I do like that too. That would be a first grader understanding.
There's big impact. And then this is also a good section to look at too. People also ask, how do I stop playing small? How do I empower myself as a woman? How should we empower women? So that's good. That looks like the word empower is something that's commonly used.
That's good.
How to stop playing small and live the life you want. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could come down here too, and then there's other related searches. How to feel empowered as a woman. Are any words jumping out at you or phrases as we're looking at this?
I did like rise up, and I think it was taking big action.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's kind of different than what I'm going for.
Okay, we'll just write everything down.
Okay.
Is there any other phrases that you commonly use that we could type into here that could be related to this?
Maybe something about shrinking.
Like how to not shrink as a woman?
Yeah.
This is all about your clothes and your height.
Your height.
So maybe this is good, right?
Maybe not.
Because
yeah.
you can see people associate the word with shrinking, not with something with women's empowerment. So again, this is why this is so helpful.
That is helpful.
Okay. Any other phrases?
How to be resilient.
Okay, I'm gonna put maybe this one. Okay, I do like that word, resilient. That feels, I know this isn't about me, but that feels really powerful.
That's one of the words I wanted to mention earlier. I had it in the back of my head, but that's like the big word that I do really want in there. Is because that's what it's about, is helping women become resilient so that they can weather any storm.
Like,
And
even
maybe
this,
that's,
look, like this
I
are,
was like, maybe, huh?
this like got my curiosity, like, oh, 10 tips to help you become more resilient. How do you do that? You know, so
Yeah.
that's, oh, that's a TED idea. I think it's a really cool word.
Yeah, I do too. That one really resonates with me and past Heather.
Oh, there's resilient mindset.
Mm. And another thing that I saw somebody wrote about the other day was emotional resilience, which really landed for me, but I don't know if it would land for others. I think John Paul didn't love that idea, but
Okay. And remember too, I would recommend to ask your audience as well when you move away from
yeah.
today with something that
Okay.
you like. Because
Okay.
obviously they're the ones that we're creating this for them, right?
Right.
Let's do how to
I
be
do like resilient
as a woman.
mindset.
Ooh, the power of resilience, a must for successful women. Successful women or confident women.
Yeah, confident women.
Becoming a resilient woman.
Bring your own seat to the table. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I like that too. 7 signs she's a resilient woman. Ooh, she bounces back.
Bounces back. That's a good one.
Yeah, because I know you were, when we had talked like a couple weeks ago too, we were talking about how to like weather any storm, or like
Yeah.
how to, or yeah, maybe bounce back from any unexpected life situation.
Yeah.
Well, here's a word: female leader. How to be a
Yeah, I really like bounces back, because that is what it's about, is being able to,
no.
no matter what happens.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, just being able to get back up after, you've faced some conflict, or you've had a lot, you've just had one of those days where everything's gone wrong, just like being able to still get back up, and knowing how to resource yourself is really important.
Mm-hmm. I like this. The word surviving. Okay. So I wrote down some words and phrases. I wrote down rise up, big action, resilient mindset, build power of resilience, successful women, confident, bounces back, leader, surviving. Is anything jumping out to you?
I definitely love rise up. I empower women to rise up after, maybe like after life challenges or after life changes.
And I know this is probably gonna like scare some part of your brain, but I want you to get, as specific as you can, right? So that way, like past Heather is like, oh, she's speaking with me.
Yeah.
She's speaking directly to
me. Right. Yeah.
Like, what kind of life challenge? There's so many challenges in life. What does past Heather need to hear?
Past Heather had a lot of challenges with men, with like standing in my power when I was around men. And so it was a lot with my son's father, being overpowered in that relationship dynamic, which created a lot of suffering. And not being able to speak my truth to him, or stand up for what I believe in for my son to him, because I was too scared of him blowing up at me. And I just did not know how to handle conflict, and it was so uncomfortable, and it would just and it would, if the conflict happened, then I would my response would be, I would get so flustered that my response would be so unintelligent and just like totally emotional. And so it was just like, I would always feel, because I would let myself like go there, because he would just push my buttons, and I would let it get the best of me. And so then I would respond through the emotions, and then later I would regret how I responded, and I would feel so stupid and so foolish. And so then I got to a point where I just stopped feeding into any of it, and I just didn't speak up to it at all. I just like totally avoided. I just became like an avoider.
Okay.
So, and then also I had the health challenges too that I had to rise up. So for me, it was like relationship with men, or how to handle men, or also like bosses and supervisors, people of authority, you know. I had a hard time being myself around them and not becoming like subservient or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just became like a people pleaser to those people, instead of like, if I didn't agree with something, I kept it to myself because I didn't want to rock the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, okay. So is anything standing out to you in what you just shared?
yeah, definitely the relationship with men. I feel like that's a big one for, like, I've just had conversations with a lot of women where, and just like witnessing my own mother in her relationship. And I think that's a big one, of
Okay.
learning how to stay true to who you are in a relationship with men, in a friendship, and like just communicating with men.
Okay. So what would that sound like then? I empower women to rise up.
I don't know, I guess a part of me is feeling like I don't want to like pigeonhole it to just men, because I think that there's a lot of women that have other stuff going on. Maybe in communication or conflict might be a good word. Maybe like to handle those, help women rise up so they can have those uncomfortable conversations and stay true to who they are.
Can we try an exercise real quick that I think
Yeah.
could be helpful with this? Let's get out of your head for a moment and do like some deep breathing and move into your body where all the answers lie. Are you open to doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead, make sure your feet are on the ground, so some grounding. One hand on your heart chakra, other hand on your intuition, head over your belly, relax your shoulders. Take some nice deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Let your whole body relax with each breath. I want you to drop out of your head space and into your heart, connecting with all that beautiful green, electric, sensual energy in the heart chakra area in the chest. It's vibrating with love and answers. And when you're ready, I want you to imagine past Heather standing in front of you right now. So seeing how she looks, how she moves, her energy, and anything else that stands out about her right now. So just see her there standing in front of you. And then I want you to ask her, little Heather, what kind of help do you need from me? What kind of help do you need from me right now in order to get you moving forward in life? And I want you to keep an open mind. I want you to stay curious and just receive and download answers from her. And I want you to keep your eyes closed, Heather, and just start talking out loud so I can write down everything that you're saying that little Heather is saying to you right now.
What would help me is to be able to align my emotions with my truth. to be able to communicate that clearly. And to be able to ask for what I want, or actually to be able to state what I want.
What else is coming through?
Being able to not be triggered by conflict. Be able to hold space for conflict without being triggered. To remain in my center while someone else is triggered. And be able to respond from a grounded place.
What else is Heather saying to you?
She wants to just speak in a way where she's heard, taken seriously, respected.
I want you to thank Heather for giving you the answers today, and know that she will continue to share her wisdom and insight with you to help you to build this business. So you can go ahead and thank her. And then when you're ready, start to return back into your body, deepening your breath, dropping your hands down by your side, wiggling your toes and your fingers. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. Hi, welcome back. Look, I noticed emotion came up.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of anger.
Oh. Yeah. What do you think the anger was about?
It was like an anger in communication, just like not being able to get through to people, to feel heard, to feel like that I would get too caught up in the emotions, and then my communication wires would be crossed, and what came out is not how I really, like, it wasn't what came out. Was totally just like triggered, jumbled stuff, but not really what's in my heart. And just not being able to clearly communicate. It reminded me of being like a toddler learning a new language, or learning language in general, and not having the words or the skills or the tools to get through to people, and just like feeling so misunderstood, and not being taken seriously, and or my words being respected.
It's interesting, as you know, the beginning of our session today, we were working from, the conscious brain of trying to figure this out. And then when we dropped more into your body and the subconscious brain, it seems like just so much more flowed through.
Yeah.
So, and we only have about 8 minutes left. So with that being said, I'm wondering if when you're working on this week, if maybe letting yourself drop into that space first, right? Like taking some time to breathe and meditate or get out in nature, because I know that's where you get really inspired, and then letting the ideas and the words flow from that space. And it can even be from a triggered or charged space, right? Like some of the best musicians, like my favorite is Taylor Swift. She writes all her songs from her heartbreak and from being hurt in past relationships. And that's what made her stand out so much. Like she didn't try to be perfect. She didn't try to like say what everyone else wanted her to say. She wrote from her pain.
Right.
So what do you think, or like what ideas is this bringing up for you in terms of that?
I feel like I do get further when I am speaking from my pain as well. And I feel like that's very relatable, speaking from the pain instead of from the healed aspect. Yeah, I think that it's a great idea to get into that centered heart space before I try to figure this out. Because I noticed before you took me into the practice, I was starting to get emotional and frustrated because this is like writing copy and these kinds of things are where like I get so held up because I'm trying to find the perfect words and like, the most important ones to say, um and I just feel like I fall short and I just can't like figure out the combination, and or I just don't feel clear in what the heck I'm trying to say. And so I'm just like, what am I trying to say here? And I was just getting really frustrated because there's just so many different directions I could go, and it's like trying to get clear in the direction that I want to go. And I guess there's this like sense of none of it being good enough, like just expecting it needs to be this big huge magical thing. um, and I think I need to strip that away and just like let it come from the heart and be, and it can totally, like I've related to the people who have had taglines that are just like messy
Mm-hmm.
and are not like professional, language and verbiage, because it's just, I don't really care to use professional language, but I a lot of times feel like I'm supposed to as a professional.
Mm-hmm.
And that holds me back because like it's not how I talk. And so,
Right.
I want to just use those words that are full of emotion, because that's how I talk. I speak with my feeling, I speak with feeling. And that's why words land for me, is they're full of emotion and feeling. And
Yeah.
um,
Uh-huh.
I guess that's not always like acknowledged in society. So yeah, I think I've just been trying to fit into a mold that just is not me. And so
Yeah.
using my language.
Yeah. That's a beautiful
It's the key.
breakthrough you just had. Right. Because, and I'm very much can relate to this. I'm the same way. I've got the people pleaser. I've got the perfectionist. I've got the I'm not enough wound. I've got all those things working against me. So I'm the same way. Is when I try to like write these things, it gets so frustrating. I'm like, I want to find the most perfect words that attract the most ideal client. They're the most SEO friendly. And then I just I back myself into a corner, and then I cry and I get frustrated, and it just takes all the joy and pleasure and fun out of creating this business.
Yeah.
So it sounds like for you, Heather, the magic and the secret is getting into your high vibe space first. And I think like that is through being grounded and outside in nature. So maybe like doing some mindset or meditation or yoga or whatever to get you into that space first, and then just let the words flow from there and see what comes from there, because it's coming from the heart at that point then, and not so much the mind anymore.
I think that's definitely going to be beneficial. And yeah, just letting it be my own language and letting go of any other kind of language. It's got to be my language. And that's what I've gotten clear on in this session, is it has to be how I speak. And it can't be how anybody else would word it, really.
Right.
So, because none of that's going to ever feel good enough, because it's not, it's not my language.
Exactly.
And accepting that my language is okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
The messiness of it, and sometimes it's very like my language can be very elementary, and that's fine. Like,
No, that's good. It's better if your language is more simple and elementary, because that's what people respond to that.
Yeah.
Just trust that whatever you decide in your business, it'll work. It'll work. Whatever you decide, it'll work. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is it that you want to commit to doing or being this week?
I want to commit to working on this tagline and taking the time to really sink into myself, and understand my language better and how that wants to come through.
Mhm.
Because I've been getting more clear on my language lately, and my getting more in touch with my silliness and my playfulness. And I think that needs to come into play in this, just letting the messy, playful, wild side come out.
I love that.
So yeah, I want to connect with that this week and see what comes from that.
Okay, so you're going to work on your tagline this week, and you're going to do it from a place of playing, wild, silly, fun, those type of energetic words that stand out for you or feeling. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. And then what was most valuable for you from today's session?
I think like all the brainstorming and the, looking things up on Google together, and just hearing your ideas as well. And then also taking that moment to just pause and go into my heart and get out of the mind, because I was starting to get frustrated, and you could pick up on that. And so when we went into that space, that was really helpful to close my eyes and go inward, because sometimes, I feel put on the spot because this is recorded and everybody sees it. So, it can be a little intense when I'm trying to
Sure, yeah.
come up with something, and that's already a place of where I feel blocked. And so, yeah, I was starting to feel a lot of emotional upset.
And it's okay too to say, I don't know. Even,
Yeah.
my ego was like, oh, I want Heather to have the most perfect tagline by the end of the session today, and I had to tell myself, it's okay. It's okay if you didn't, get exactly everything that you wanted, but trusting that we started to initiate something today, and that more downloads and ideas can come through to you after the session. And that the most perfect idea will come to you when you're ready to receive it. And I trust that. I fully trust that.
Yeah. I definitely, I do feel more clarity around it. And I know now at least that it's got to be my own language. And, and so I know that. And then, I'm feeling there's a download trying to come through. So I'm seeing that visually in my mind, some words that are wanting to come through. So as soon as I do take that time to sit with it, I think that there's something already that's sitting there ready to come through. So yeah, when the inspiration comes, it'll make its way. Would you be able to send me the stuff you wrote down, the phrases and stuff? Okay.
I'll put it.
I didn't write all.
I'll put it in your big picture plan in the shared Google.
Okay.
That we have.
Okay, good. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, because I didn't write everything down, but I think there were some really good ones in there.
Yeah, definitely. And I love what you said, that you did gain clarity today, and that you, what feels in alignment for you is having words that come from yourself, from your heart, versus trying to use other people's words when describing what you do in your business. So you're right. That's a huge realization right there.
Yeah. Because that's the only way it's going to feel good, and it's going to ever be good enough, is if I'm, not trying to use professional words just to make it shiny, just to make it look shiny. That's you see a lot of that out there, or I see a lot of that out there. It's people using all these, very attention grabbing words, and but sometimes it's kind of like techno babble or whatever. Sometimes it's just too much and kind of too fluffed up, and so it's kind of cheesy. So I don't want that.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense. And just remember to trust that whatever you do, whatever you say, is enough, and it's perfect for your people to hear. So just find a mantra that works for you this week, that's going to help you to heal that, and just keep repeating that over and over again.
Yeah, I will. And then I'm going to cuddle this kitty.
Aww. Yeah.
He brings me lots of comfort.
Oh,
He's been helping me with my creative flow.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am going to jump off for my next client call, but thank you so much for the lovely session today, Heather, and sharing your authentic heart and energy and thoughts with us. And I hope that you have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. You too. Thanks so much for the session.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, Krista.